Alright, welcome to scalar multiplication. So first of all, let's talk about vocabulary, and of course I have the wrong pen ready, right, as I'm ready to go. So a scalar refers to a single constant variable or expression. So we have different things like matrices where we have several numbers in one configuration. We have vectors that refer to like two or three numbers that give us a magnitude and direction of where something is going. But a scalar is just a single entity. It doesn't have more than one component to it. Okay? So to multiply by a scalar, multiply each element in your matrix by that value. So here's a few examples. We want to multiply 3, which is our scalar, times this 3 by 3 matrix. And our result will be a 3 by 3 matrix. So we just take each number and multiply it by 3. So 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times -6 is -18. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times -4 is -12. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times -11 is -33. 3 times 15 is 45. So this is our new matrix. Next, our scalar is a negative number. So we're going to multiply all of the elements in this matrix by a -2, and that's going to change the sign on each one. So -2 times 6 is -12. -2 times 2 is -4. -2 times 3 is -6. And -2 times -4 is +8. Scalar multiplication. Why don't you pause the video and give this next one a try. Alright, so multiplying by 1/4 means basically dividing by 4. We're going to take each number, each element in our matrix, and divide by 4, or multiply by 1/4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. -12 divided by 4 is -3. 3 divided by 4 doesn't go evenly, so we're going to leave that in a fraction. Like 3 times 1/4, right, gives us 3/4. Next, we have 1/4 times 1, which is 1/4. 1/4 times -4, which is -1. 1/4 times -2, which is -1/2. 1/4 times 12, or 12 divided by 4, which would be 3. -16 divided by 4 is -4. And 0 divided by 4 is simply 0. Now, if it were 0 if we were dividing by 0 instead, we wouldn't be able to do it. But because we're dividing by 4, 0 divided by any number is always going to be 0. Okay, this next one has two scalars. There's two different ways we could do this. Because of the parentheses, we could actually multiply by the -2 through everything first, and then multiply the 4. And that means your numbers would be smaller. You wouldn't have to multiply by 8, like say if you didn't know your 8 times 10. But I feel like it's just as easy to go ahead and multiply this 4 and -2 together first, so that we have -8 times our matrix. So -8 times 2, -4, 0, 5, 11, -2, 5, 0, -10. And then just go ahead and multiply it through. So -8 times 2 is -16. -8 times -4 is +32. Anything times 0 is 0. -8 times 5 is -40. -8 times 11 is -8. -8 times -2 is 16. -8 times 5 is -40. -8 times 0 is 0. And -8 times -10 is +80. Alright, pretty easy stuff. The next thing we get to do is actually multiply matrices. And unfortunately, multiplying two matrices together is much more difficult than just multiplying a scalar times a matrix. But at this point, we're going to start talking about how to use calculators to do matrices for us. So we'll look forward to that coming up soon.